Oh my goodness, you guys are not going to believe this tea I'm about to spill. Justin Baldoni has dropped some major bombshells and it's shaking up everything we thought we knew about Hollywood's favorite couple, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. The rumors are wild. Justin apparently has receipts showing Blake might have been stepping out on Ryan. Yes, you heard that right. A real-life love triangle with Blake smack in the middle of it all? Stick around because we're diving deep into what Justin's revealed and how this could totally change the Lively-Reynolds love story we've all been obsessed with. So here's the juicy theory everyone's buzzing about. Blake Lively might have caught feelings for Justin Baldoni while filming together. Even though she tried dropping some not-so-subtle hints, things didn't exactly go how she planned. And when people started connecting the dots, let me tell you, it is eye-opening. If you look at Blake's past work, she's never gone all the way with an actor during intimate scenes like she did with Justin. For starters, Blake supposedly requested an intimacy coordinator for those steamy moments. But get this, Justin revealed she actually refused to meet with the coordinator. She took complete control of those scenes herself, deciding exactly how close she could get to Justin. Then later when she claimed there was no coordinator available, girl, that looks like you were playing the situation to your advantage, maybe even covering up what was really happening between you two. And here's another twist. Blake once admitted she's not like other actors who completely transform for roles. People have always said she basically plays herself in every movie, and she basically confirmed it herself.
Like, you can't just put me in any clothes and give me any words and have me step in and transform. And I used to be very insecure about that. I used to feel like an imposter because I would watch actors who were just shapeshifters. They could do it in any circumstance. And then I realized that half of the actors that I admire most were people who were more filmmakers, or people who had to get their hands in the storytelling and the writing and the creating and the environment, and people that I respected so much. And I was like, oh, okay, there's two different categories, and I'm in this category, and that's okay. So once I started embracing that and leaning into it and not feeling embarrassed about it, I think I was able to do the best work.
Did you hear that? She's straight up admitting she's different from other actors in Hollywood. She's just being herself on set. And when you bring that much of your real self into a role, things can get real. Maybe a little too real for Blake if she caught feelings for Justin. But Blake does have one way she gets into character. It's all about the wardrobe. The crazy thing? Some of the clothes she wore in It Ends With Us came straight from her own closet. She was literally playing a version of herself. Meanwhile, Justin's approach was completely different. He was method acting through and through, especially for his role as Riley, who's described as absolutely irresistible. Blake herself has gushed about how she's all about romance, so can you imagine how those on-screen fireworks might have sparked something real? She even praised the author for making Lily's feelings for both Riley and Atlas so complex, saying it made her really feel what her character was going through. Here's the thing though, for someone like Blake who's married and hasn't done many steamy roles lately, jumping into such an intense, intimate role just months after giving birth, that's pretty bold. And honestly, recipe for disaster. Speaking of pregnancy, an old comment from Blake has resurfaced from around 2023, right when they started filming together. Blake commented on one of Justin's workout posts saying, "Amazing, now try it pregnant," to which Justin cheekily replied, "You win." Doesn't that sound like more than just friendly banter? This little exchange between Blake and Justin had people coming up with all kinds of theories. Some say Blake just can't help making everything a competition, like she's got to be the center of attention. Others think this was her way of low-key flirting and sliding herself into the conversation even when it wasn't about her. But Blake wasn't having that narrative. She fired back saying Justin was claiming she dressed all sexy on set to play her character, except, plot twist, that wasn't true. In her own interviews, Blake said she was in charge of her wardrobe, not the costume designer. So let's not pretend Justin was running that show. In fact, Justin only mentioned her outfits after they leaked online and people started calling them unflattering. And guess what? It was Blake who suggested her character wear more seductive stuff to spice up the role. But it doesn't stop there. Blake accused Justin of kissing her longer than necessary during romantic scenes. Like, ma'am, this is a movie with plenty of steamy moments. The gag is, behind the scenes, it looked like Blake was calling the shots. She even taught Justin how to pull her in for scenes and then had the nerve to claim Justin was sneaking extra intimate moments into the script, which wasn't even true. Apparently, Justin wanted the intimacy coordinator to help rewrite some scenes, but Blake wasn't into that. In the end, they worked on it together, and even Blake's husband helped rewrite one scene. Now here's where it gets messy. Blake complained that Justin barged into her trailer while she was topless and breastfeeding. Like, what? But the receipts tell a completely different story. First of all, how was Justin supposed to know she was pumping? Turns out Blake invited him to her trailer to run lines, and when he said he'd come after finishing his food, she didn't object. So why twist it later? Some people think she made it a big deal to get back at him for not reciprocating her feelings on set. And here's the kicker: Blake has a history of falling for her co-stars. Remember her Gossip Girl days with Penn Badgley?
I understand you guys have known each other a long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
How, since you were 8?
No, 11.
No, 11. I was like,
He thinks it was less than it was. He thinks it was 8 years. It was definitely 9.
Yeah.
Years ago that we knew each other. It was very passionate, but I lost a lot of friends because of it.
Yeah.
So that was hard to deal with. But I think that it's.
They played Serena and Dan, and their on-screen love story turned into a real-life thing. They started dating because of their chemistry on the show, which made sense. It was their breakout project. They were young and suddenly everywhere because of the show. But they broke up in 2010, right before the series wrapped in 2012. And then, before you know it, Blake fell for Ryan Reynolds while they were filming Green Lantern. Except there's a catch. Ryan was married to Scarlett Johansson at the time.
You guys are so beautiful to watch that I was just like,
Well, hello.
I was just like,
Everyone gains 10 points next to her. You go out. No, that's all you get today, though. That's it.
I know. I can't believe you.
That's it.
Like
No. Just
compliments
that. Yeah.
off
No.
camera.
Yeah.
Not so nice.
No. Never. Never.
gotta keep her grounded.
No. Yeah. Absolutely. I've seen her go into a rage spiral. Oh my God. And most people's violence with her, it's just baking.
The word on the street is that Blake and Ryan were a little too cozy for people who were just friends, and like their interviews and body language were totally giving "we're into each other" vibes. People definitely noticed what was going on. They started their romance on Green Lantern when they were both still with other people. As one person said, wasn't he still married to Scarlett Johansson? Many believe Ryan cheated on Scarlett with Blake and eventually divorced Scarlett to be with her. Now, it didn't all happen right away, but it's pretty obvious their romance sparked on that set. But there's more. History nearly repeated itself with Ben Affleck during The Town. Ben was still married to Jennifer Garner, and rumors were flying that Blake and Ben were, well, let's just say a little too close for comfort. Insiders on set said Blake and Ben were acting like lovesick teens, which reportedly left Jennifer worried. Oh, and let's not forget Blake was still dating Penn Badgley at the time. Allegedly, there was some emotional affair action happening with baked goods, dates, flirting, and all the messy extras. Now fast forward to Justin. If Blake did catch feelings for him on set but he didn't reciprocate, it totally tracks that she might have been hurt and wanted to flip the narrative. Some people think Blake wanted Justin to take the blame as a way to make her husband, who's rumored to get jealous, feel better. And listen, it's not like Blake was necessarily trying to start something serious with Justin. She probably just wanted to feel the vibe, you know? But when Justin didn't give her that energy back, she might have felt embarrassed and turned it around to make it seem like Justin was the one pursuing her. Now here's where it gets a little spicy. Blake apparently grew up getting her way all the time. Like, her dad once bribed the choir director so she could be the lead singer. So rejection is not exactly something she's used to. Plus, her life's been pretty cushy overall, so this situation might have stung a little extra. And let's be real, she hasn't done a ton of projects recently because she's a busy mom of 4 with a husband who's always working. It's giving lonely and bored vibes sometimes. So when Blake got the chance to star in a romantic movie with a hot love interest, she jumped on it. She said before that she loves romance, so maybe she just wanted to see if she still had that spark, you know? But when Justin didn't give her the reaction she wanted, it's like she panicked and flipped the script, making it seem like Justin was the problem. Oh, and this part is juicy. There's a theory that Justin might have asked about Blake's weight at some point, and instead of figuring out why he said that, she took it as a sign he wasn't into her. That must have been a blow to her ego, and it sounds like her husband wasn't happy about it either. Apparently, he showed up on set, scolded Justin, and even made fun of him. So was Blake just testing the waters, or was she stirring the pot? In either case, legal work is already on the way, and no matter what her intentions were with Justin, we're left with a bunch of lawsuits and drama. So December 2024 rolls around, and Blake Lively files a whole complaint with California's Civil Rights Department. She's accusing Justin and some of the production crew of harassment and retaliation. Blake says the studio promised to have her back, but instead left her hanging to deal with all the inappropriate behavior on her own. But Blake's not just quietly complaining, she's coming for Justin hard. She's saying he and his team tried to destroy her reputation after she spoke up, claiming they started a full-on smear campaign against her. She says it's left her stressed, drained, and losing out on work opportunities. Justin's not exactly sitting back and taking these hits. He clapped back with a countersuit for $400 million. He's accusing Blake of defamation and civil extortion. His team is claiming her story doesn't hold water, and they're saying they've got receipts, like behind-the-scenes footage to prove it. And just when you think it couldn't get messier, boom! Justin's team starts leaking video clips from the set to defend him. Meanwhile, Blake's camp is calling it a move to twist the narrative. Oh, and Justin's also suing the New York Times for $250 million because he says their coverage was biased in Blake's favor and hurt his reputation even more. Now let's talk stakes. For Blake, these accusations could totally wreck her image and make it hard for her to land future projects if people start doubting her story. And for Justin, his whole brand as a women's rights supporter is on the line. If these claims stick, his credibility is toast. But honestly, this isn't just about Blake and Justin. It's putting Hollywood's dirty laundry out there. Harassment, accountability, and what really happens behind the scenes when things fall apart. And with both sides gearing up for what looks like a long, ugly fight, it's anybody's guess how this will end. Now for the extra tea, because this story just keeps spiraling.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are firing back against the lawyers for Justin Baldoni, claiming that statements that are being made in the public right now are wrong and they need to be stopped. Plus, we have an official answer to Lively's complaint from Baldoni's side. What is being admitted? What is being denied? We're going to get into it all right now.
So apparently, new text messages and voice memos leaked, and they weren't even part of the original lawsuit. These are like bonus tracks on an already chaotic album. And let me tell you, they are explosive. People are comparing Blake to Amber Heard 2.0. Oh, and get this, there's footage from the set that allegedly contradicts what Blake said in her complaint. Like, what is the truth? And if that wasn't wild enough, the streets are saying Blake leaned on her famous besties Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds to pressure Justin and Sony Pictures. Allegedly, she tried to flex her connections, threatening that if they didn't hand over the film to her, they'd lose promo to her and her friends' massive followings. But apparently, that plan backfired, and now it's all coming back to haunt her. First off, we need to talk about Colleen Hoover, the author of the book this movie is based on. You might not have heard her name pop up much in this mess, but oh, she's got a role to play. Back in 2019, Colleen sold the movie rights to her book, and she even handpicked Justin to play Riley, one of the main characters. And it gets cozier. They were friends. Like, she was all up in the scripting process, super involved. They even hit the promo trail together, smiling for the cameras, acting like besties. And this was all supposedly after the harassment claims Blake brought up. Already giving side-eye, right? But here's where the chaos kicks in. After Blake Lively dropped her lawsuit against Justin, Colleen went on Instagram saying she was Team Blake. But wait for it. This happened after those promo interviews where she and Justin were all buddy-buddy. Like, girl, the timeline is not timelining, it's giving sus vibes. Then comes the plot twist. Justin wasn't allowed to edit his own movie. That's when the cracks started to show, where Colleen threatened not to promote the film unless she got more creative control. Like, what is even going on behind the scenes here? Speaking of Blake, you know she's that girl, right? Like, she could have chemistry with a lamp and people would call it Oscar-worthy. Even Justin was out here hyping her up during interviews, calling her crazy talented and saying she brought so much to the film. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Blake was allegedly making moves to block Justin out of his own project. Here's where it gets shady. Blake apparently took over the editing, promotion, and marketing of the movie. And get this, she somehow turned Colleen against Justin. Messy, messy, messy. Now, Justin never publicly dragged Blake or Colleen. He kept it classy. But behind the scenes, Colleen was reportedly texting him, hyping him up, thanking him for being so generous with her input. Meanwhile, in public, she was radio silent about Justin. Like, where's that same energy? As for Blake, people are calling her a master manipulator.
I feel like more details are unraveling as we go, and this is they're not in your favor, Billy. I think
I don't even like the movie.
Yeah,
you love it.
You
You
love,
don't
no, you
like
don't
it,
like it.
you love it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're saying she was super hands-on with the movie, especially those intimate scenes. She had a vision for what worked and made sure it was all done her way. But then, plot twist, she flipped the script and made it sound like Justin was the problem during those scenes. Oh, and it doesn't stop there. Whenever Justin tried to give her credit for her contributions, Blake would change the subject, never acknowledging his efforts. So here we are. Long story short, it feels like Blake and Colleen made their moves, and Justin's left looking like the odd man out. The whole situation is one giant power play gone wrong, and woo, it is messy with a capital M. Keep your popcorn handy because this drama isn't over yet. Nobody knows precisely how this one will turn out. Are they going to settle eventually? Are they going to drag this out further? Let's wait and see. Until then, let us know how you feel about this tea down below. About this.